quick follow-up. I hope to keep it quick. The previous video where I made this little beginner's carving knife, I got a lot of positive response from that and feedback, and I really appreciate it. But I just wanted to touch base because, you know, it came out really nice, but I had a small problem with this, and it's one of the prime reasons why so many different like blacksmithing and different channels where guys do metal work, where they express the importance of knowing what kind of a metal you're using and being cautious of using scrap material or just some other material but you don't know what the actual type of steel it is. I made this knife out of an old plain iron, and when I was working on it, I discovered that this is the piece here that I cut the section out of. This is the chisel edge of the plain iron, and this metal, whatever it is hard up to about here, and then up in here, it's very malleable. Here's another one here. You can see I would cut a piece off. This is the back half. Again, this is the cutting edge part of it. It's the same brand iron, but you can see like right here, it's super soft, but down here it's really hard. So when I made my knife edge, I cut the knife out as far as I could, cut off the bevel, so my blade is in this area here, and it's a little bit hard up in here, and then the tang's about it up into there. So the problem I ran into was, so this is hard. We know it's hard because I had a file going across and it skates across it real well, but I don't know what the hardness level of it is. And the problem I ran into is with a really aggressive taper for a carving knife that I had on it, the blade geometry being so thin at the end, and I picked up on it when I was honing it on my stone, it was rolling a burr really bad. It didn't take but a few passes and it would roll a burr on the opposite side. You get rid of the burr on the other side and it immediately just rolls it over to the opposite side. So that was an indicator there. So I finally just, light strokes back and forth, got it good, stropped it, and it would shave and everything. And I picked up a piece of pine and immediately, got a couple cuts in it, and you could see chips coming out of the blade. And I put it on the stone again, and then of course the blade just deteriorated from there. The chips are breaking off, and then you got, jagged edges along your blade line and everything. I almost scrapped the project. I went as far and was testing this. I heated it up and did what they call normalizing, and let it cool off, reheated the whole thing, and then quenched it in oil, and it actually back in here hardened. Not as hard as out here, but I could feel the file biting into it, and it is harder because it takes a good bit more force to bend it as opposed to up on this end back here. So I was like, okay, maybe if I had to, I could cut another piece out and redo it. So I was playing around with this with the file, got it cleaned up, and then finally what I ended up doing was I put it back on a belt sander, and the blade was probably about 1/8 of an inch thicker. I sanded that down so it was to a thicker, meatier part of closer to the spine, and then reground the edge and just put more of a steeper grind on it, like say a pocket knife. So yeah, I just wanted to touch base. It wasn't a perfect, I'm not a knife maker, but it was pretty much my first real knife that I made, and came out really nice, looks nice, but all the glitters isn't gold. But so far as a beginner's knife, I think it'll be fine. Getting started, it'll give experience of stropping and keeping an edge on it. And like one of my subscribers had mentioned in the comments on a previous video, I think I'm going to go to the dollar store and buy a pack or a whole bunch of bars of soap and get my grandson started carving with some soap, and then we'll graduate him up to some basswood and he should be okay. I had a piece, I do have it with the new edge geometry. It will shave, and I was doing some hacking here on this oak, and it wasn't chipping, it still shaves, so I'm pretty happy with that. It just doesn't have that real nice long taper like a carving knife would have. It comes up and then it goes in real steep like a pocket knife would, but that's fine for a beginner. But hey, everybody that watched the last video and left a lot of really good feedback, thank you, I appreciate it. And we still got it, but it didn't come out the way I really was planning. Thanks again.